Hi, in this video we are going to be talking about Q&As. This is my first video on Q&As, so I'm going to answer some of your questions in my comments. So let's start. Do I have to disassemble my fuel distributor and to do the restoration? Absolutely not. That's no issue. Fuel distributor is no issue. Maybe you will have to be dealing with this fuel distributor if you haven't started your car in years. Then you could experience problems with the plunger and not delivering the equal amount of fuel to the ports, etc. There are some people that do that, but you don't have to do that. Those are the people that do project cars and they want their car to be like from the factory, but this is absolutely no issue to be dealing with. You don't have to do that. The second question. This question I got on a Facebook group, Mercedes-Benz. And someone asked me, should I buy W124 300 CE? We're talking about the coupe. The coupe is a sports car. It looks nice. It sounds nice. The stress on a coupe is on a driver and not on those driven behind. Although W124 made such coupes that you have enough space on the back seat also. But now the thing you have to understand is that these cars are old. These cars are 25 years plus old. So they need love. They are neglected. Something like that happens, unfortunately. Most of these cars have KE-Jetronic, something many mechanics know nothing about. I must say it like that. And if you drive your car to the mechanic, he can easily ruin your car. These cars are predicted for the enthusiasts, for those that like W124, for those that want to repair their car themselves. And if you don't know anything about K or KE-Jetronic, and if you are one of those that don't like dirty hands, or you don't like to be doing anything on your car, you know nothing about the car, then don't buy this car. And for you that like W124s, then try to find a good example. And a good example costs pretty much. Don't buy a cheap one, because believe me, I'm talking about something that I experienced. There is nothing more expensive than a cheap Mercedes. believe me, about that. Question number 3. How do I do the diagnostic on my car? Well, I made that video about the diagnostic, about OBD1 scanner 30 years ago, and I don't know how, but I managed to do that on X11 port. For all others of you that have a car that is manufactured after September 89, you must have a diagnostic socket by the battery, so at your right fender, and there you will have to do your diagnostics with OBD1 scanner that you are going either to make yourself, or you can order one on eBay. And you have that table with codes or errors, however we say that, and that's how you can know that. So please, for all of you that have M103 engines or M102, do it on this X11/4. This socket, the one at the battery. It can have 8 ports, 16, 32 or more. It depends on a vehicle. It's not related to W124 only, it's related to various models as R129, W201, W126, and that's it. Question number 4. This question is about the videos I don't make in Serbian language. So I'm going to answer this question in Serbian language. Zašto ne snimam na srpskom jeziku? To je bilo pitanje. Nekoliko njih me je pitalo. Vidite, vrlo malo ljudi gleda te videe koje sam ja snimio i napravio. Dakle, ja sam član u više grupa na Facebooku. To su naše grupe u Srbiji, to je hrvatska grupa, to je bosanska grupa, to je Faltdah grupa i to je Old Timers, tako li se valjda zove. Ta grupa, posljednji put kad sam ja to gledao, je brojala 30.000 ljudi. Ja sam se reklamirao pred 30.000 ljudi, a ovamo kad pogledam preglede, pa simbolični su. Samo toliko mogu da kažem. A opet, stvarno sam mnogo energije, rada i truda uložio da objasnim nešto što nema na celom YouTube. Nigde ne možete to naći, to vam odgovorno tvrdim. Ne 100, nego 100 puta 100%, da nigde nećete ništa naći o elektrohidruličnom ventilu, kao što je kod mene, do najsitnijih detalja. Nigde ništa nećete naći o razdelniku za gorivo. Tu sam sve naveo do najsitnijih detalja, šta koji deo radi, kako izgleda unutra, šta se unutra nalazi, kako se sve radi. Sve sam to radio, utrošio dosta vremena, pregledi. Vala, od toliko broja ljudi ja nisam ni malo zadovoljan. Ali stvarno, a o zaradi tek i da ne pričam. Zato ako mi neko postavlja pitanja ili mi naređuje, bolje da kažem, da mi kaže kako imam previše klipova na engleskom i da nešto daj snimaj nešto na našem jeziku, ne. Onda neću. Onda stvarno neću. A i ono što sam snimio, što imate, vala moći ćete u potpunosti da popravite vaš auto. Samo se malo zainteresujte. Možda sam zvučao malo arogantno, ali tako je to. Šta da radim? Hvala. Why do I haven't number 3 on X11 connected? That's the next question. Number 3 not connected on X11 port. That's the port for mechanical injection, for KE-Jetronic. When you have no connection to this port, then that means that you have no O2 sensor. As you don't have an O2 sensor, then you cannot do a duty cycle. And without an O2 sensor, well, then as I could figure it out, is that all those cars don't have an O2 sensor and no cat. Well, that's why, and that's why you haven't this number 3 on X11. Can you set your duty cycle or do the duty cycle? Well, I'm going to be talking about that a bit later. The next question. I replaced the fuel accumulator and my warm engine doesn't start. Why? You have to understand that a cold start and a warm start are two different things on KE-Jetronic. As the engine is cold, the cold start valve helps the engine start better. And as the temperature rises and once the engine achieved 40 degrees C, the cold start valve remains off. Let's presume that you drove your car and the temperature was 80 degrees C. The car is warm. You had to stop the car somewhere. You stopped at who knows which reason. And now, as you want to start, you crank it, but it won't start. Correct me if I'm wrong. If someone knows, let me know in the comments down below. This is not a fact. I suppose that it is about the injectors. I suppose you have bad injectors because there is nothing now to atomize the fuel fine, to make that fine spray pattern, and your injectors squirt or they drip, and That's why you have a bad start. I suppose that that you should then consider checking your injectors. And the last question is, can I do the duty cycle without port 3 on X11 port? Well, at first, I'm sorry because I didn't do this video on duty cycle. For the duty cycle, you need 2 multimeters. One should be on X11 at the port 2 and the port 3. But as you don't have it, you cannot measure here either voltage or percents. And these percents are the only valid, let's say the only valid value that you should be looking at. The second multimeter should be attached to the EHA here on its ports. So you just pull just a bit the connection or the connector for your EHA, and you stick here your multimeter and get the connector back. And then you will have to measure milliamps and select the lowest range, because as your car is warm on idle, you should get between -3 and 0 milliamps. That's for the cars with cat. The oscillations should be in this range. They say that ideal would be -2 milliamps. Let me show you now. The more, here is on this mixture screw is the place where you set it and adjust it as you should. The more you turn in this CO screw clockwise, the more you make your mixture richer, and the milliamps go in a negative range. The more you turn counterclockwise the screw, the more, logically, the milliamps go in a positive range. Well, for all of you who don't have an O2 sensor, everything on this CO screw, once adjusted, doesn't have to be readjusted. Never. Believe me. That's why in Mercedes they put a cork here. That's why. So don't touch this screw, and never go to a mechanic that is going to start the car, and then maybe the engine is going to shake a bit. The engine shaking, I'll take my 3 mils Allen wrench, and this is what he does. He turns quarter of a turn clockwise, and here he touches like this part, this whole unit. Remember, this is something that cannot be done by feel. Never. This can only be done with multimeters. So don't let the mechanics touch something and readjust anything on this screw. There is absolutely no need for that. And that would be everything for this video. If you liked this video, then I would ask you to support the channel, and you're going to do that by not, and please, I would ask you not to click the skip ad, because as you click this skip ad, as the ads start, then I'm going to earn nothing. So please, if you like this video, don't hit skip ads. And till some next video, happy Mercedesing. Bye.